welcome to Pleb Smart. This channel provides biology for all TET, TGT-PGT exams. This is the series for human physiology considering the chapter Endocrine glands and hormones. This is the part 2. This channel also provides pointers of the full syllabus, questions through ACL preparation. Let's begin.
So we have already covered 3 glands, that is hypothalamus, pituitary gland and pineal gland in the part 1 of the video. So next gland we are discussing is thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is stimulated by the thyroid stimulizing hormone, that is TSH, secreted from the anterior part of the pituitary gland. The location of the thyroid gland is side of trachea. Here we can see in the diagram, this is the tracheal windpipe, this is the thyroid cartilage, and it is lobular structure. It has 2 lobes. This is the right lobe and this is the left lobe. In between the tissue is present which is called isthmus, which is basically a thin flap of connective tissue that connects this right and left lobe. Here the tissue is called isthmus. The thyroid glands is composed of 2 types of cells, follicles or follicular cells, or stomatal tissues or cells. The follicular cells actually synthesizes 2 hormones, that is tetraiodothyronine, that is T4, or triiodothyronine, that is T3. These are the 2 hormones secreted by thyroid gland, basically follicular cells. What are the essential things that are needed for these hormone synthesis are iodine. Okay, the major requirement for the secretion of 2 hormones or synthesis of 2 hormones is iodine. Then iodine की deficiency से क्या होगी, hypothyroidism होगा, और एक condition जिसे हम cretinism कहते हैं, which is basically stunted growth of growing baby. क्रिटिनिज्म जो होता है हमारे हाइपोथायरॉइडिज्म के केस पे, और ज़्यादा मोर ऑफ हार्मोन्स प्रेजेंट होने से होगा हमारा हाइपरथायरॉइडिज्म, जो कि बॉडी के फिजियोलॉजी को अफेक्ट करते हैं. फंक्शन ऑफ दीज हार्मोन्स है रेगुलेशन ऑफ बेसल मेटाबॉलिक रेट, सपोर्ट्स रेड ब्लड सेल फॉर्मेशन यानी एरिथ्रोपोइसिस, control metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins and fats, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance. Additional secretion apart from these 2 hormones, it also secretes thyrocalcitonin. Calcitonin means it regulates blood calcium levels. ये वो हमारा function and hormonal secretion by thyroid gland. Next is next gland is parathyroid gland, which is present, these are 4 in numbers, present on the back side of the thyroid gland. Here we can see 1 2 3 4, these are the parathyroid glands. Location 4 of these are present on the back side of the thyroid gland. Secretion, it secretes parathyroid hormone, which is basically a peptide hormone which regulates the level of calcium ions in the blood. PTH, that is parathyroid hormone, it increases the calcium levels in the blood, acts on bones and stimulates process of bone reabsorption. Reabsorption of calcium by renal tubules also is done by parathyroid hormone. The increase in calcium absorption from digested food. PTH को हम hypercalcemic hormone भी कहते हैं, because it increases the blood calcium levels, इसीलिए इसे हम hypercalcemic hormone कहते हैं. Next gland is thymus. It is also a lobular structure. कहाँ present होती है, lungs के between lungs and sternum of the ventral side of aorta. It is present between lungs, behind sternum, on ventral side of aorta. ये है lungs. यहाँ हम बीच में देख सकते हैं ग्लोबुलर स्ट्रक्चर की तरह प्रेजेंट है हमारा थाइमस ग्लैंड. फंक्शन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इम्यून सिस्टम. ठीक है, इम्यून सिस्टम क्या होता है, डीजेनरेट हो जाएगा एज वी ग्रो ओल्ड, डीजेनरेट इन ओल्ड इंडिविजुअल्स which leads to decreased production of thymogens. ठीक है, यानी कि इसका जो सिक्रीशन है थाइमस ग्लैंड का, उसका सिक्रीशन पेप्टाइड हार्मोन का होता है जिसका नाम है थाइमोसिन्स. Thymosin have major role in differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provides cell mediated immunity, basically which provides T cells or different cells that leads to provide immunity in individuals. Also, it has role in promoting production of antibodies, which provides humoral immunity. Basically, decreased production of thymosin leads the immune system degenerate in old persons. That leads to the decreased production of thymosin, results in the weakness in old persons. This was all about thymus gland. The next is adrenal gland. Our body has about one pair of adrenal glands, one at the interior part of each kidney. Okay, this is what the adrenal gland looks like. Location is anterior part of kidney. It has two types of tissues. The at the periphery, it is adrenal cortex, which have three portions, three layers: zona glomerula, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. And in the middle, it is medulla, that is adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla secretes two hormones: adrenaline, also known as epinephrine; noradrenaline, also known as norepinephrine. Combinedly, both can be called as catecholamines. These two hormones are considered as hormones of fight and flight, or as emergency hormones, as these are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind and during emergency situations. These hormones also increase alertness, pulmonary dilations, piloerections. Okay, adrenal cortex has three layers as discussed earlier. These three layers secretes many hormones that can be combinedly called as corticoids. So, adrenal medulla hormones, as I said, combinedly adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, noradrenaline, also known as norepinephrine, combinedly called as catecholamines, which increases alertness, pulmonary dilations, piloerections, that is raising of our skin hairs, sweating, and heartbeat. It also provides strength of heart contraction and rate of respiration. These hormones also stimulate breakdown of glycogen, which results in increased concentration of glucose in blood. Also, it stimulates the breakdown of lipids and proteins. Next portion is adrenal cortex. The hormones combinedly are called as corticoids. So the hormones involved in carbohydrate metabolism is called glucocorticoids. Hormones involved in the regulation of water and electrolyte balance are called mineralocorticoids. Glucocorticoids, one of the major example of glucocorticoid is cortisol, which is basically released during the stress condition. They stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is basically involved in maintaining cardiovascular system, kidney functions, inflammatory responses. Thus, it suppresses immune response and RBC production. As discussed, mineralocorticoids, it regulate water and electrolyte balance. One of the major example is aldosterone. It stimulates the reabsorption of Na plus, sodium and water, excretion of potassium and phosphate ions, maintains electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure and blood pressure. Androgenic steroids are also some of the hormones secreted by adrenal cortex, combinedly present in corticoids. These are the small amounts. It are present in trace amounts. These have role in growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. This was all about the secretions of adrenal gland, basically from adrenal medulla or adrenal cortex.
This is to the end of the video. The rest glands left and their secreted hormones, and respective functions will be covered in the part 3 of the series. Do give a like, share and subscribe to Prep Smart for TGT-PGT. Also do watch part 3 and part 4 of the video series.